What's up, y'all? Today's video is a little bit different. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Netflix series Love is Blind. Specifically, I'm going to be reviewing After the Altar. So I'm sorry that I just kind of popped up out of here on nowhere, but I feel like I want to do more like TV show, reality show reviews because I love reality TV. It just shows how we interact with society. Like, it's a little example, like a little social experiment in how we as humans interact in society. So I just love reality TV. But today we are going to be reviewing Love is Blind Season 2, After the Altar. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, so first things first, let's get into the hot topic. Let's talk about Sal and Mallory. But first of all, before we even get to Sal and Mallory, let's talk about how awkwardly close Mallory and Jarrett were being during the whole time. Like, if you have never watched Love is Blind, I highly suggest you watch Love is Blind and then you see the After the Altar. You can jump off into season 2. Honestly, season 1, watch season 2 first so you won't be too let down when you see season 1, because season 1 was way better. Like, literally no couples made it out alive. Spoiler alert, okay? I'm sorry if I didn't say this before. Spoiler alert, no couples made it out. I mean, they might have made it till After the Altar, but after the Altar filming, they all got divorces. So no couples made it out of this experiment. I do think it's a pretty cool experiment, but it's pretty rare. But let's talk about how oddly close Mallory and Jarrett were being at the party. I don't feel like it was a little bit too close, but I still didn't really like it. Like, in my opinion, I feel like as a couple and as women, like, be aware of how your man operates when he's in a social setting. If he's in a social setting and he, like, basically doesn't talk to you, he's too focused on, like, the other people and he's barely communicating with you, and he's kind of, like, losing hindsight of you, I'm not gonna say break up with him or leave him, but just keep your eyes open, okay? Because that's a man that is capable of cheating, okay? But if y'all are in a social setting and he's, like, getting a little bit too close with some other girls, just keep your eyes out. In my opinion, it made me a little bit uncomfortable, especially considering the fact that them two had something once upon a time not long ago, and Mallory's, like, basically single at this point. So it's like, why are y'all a little bit too close? Like, y'all saw, let me see, what's that one couple? I'm sorry, y'all, like, I don't know any of their names, to be honest, but Danielle and Nick, like, did y'all see them? Like, they were together the whole time. That's a couple that moves, like, one man, one band, one sound, okay? But the way Jarrett and Ayana were operating, to be honest, it was a little bit like they were single, and Jarrett was being a little bit too friendly with Mallory, considering y'all history. Like, listen, and I'm not the crazy type, but it's like, when you know you have history with somebody, you're supposed to keep them at a distance, at least for the respect of your partner. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold, if I didn't mention that, which is why my voice sounds nasally, but when you have history with somebody, you supposed to keep them at a distance, okay? That's that shit you watch from a distance, okay? You supposed to be like, oh, how are you? Things are good. Okay, that's nice. Well, nice to see things are going well. See you later. Like, you supposed to keep them at a distance out of respect for your partner. So they were being a little bit too close for me. But let's talk about Sal and Mallory. And Sal's new girlfriend, which I don't even care. What is her name? Like Jessica or something? Whatever the fuck that bitch name is. In my opinion, Sal is not as innocent as he's trying to make himself out to be. I feel like what Sal and his new girlfriend Jessica came to do at that party, what they came to do is they came to rub salt on Mallory's wounds. Now, don't get me wrong. When I watched Love is Blind, Mallory was by far not my favorite. And like I said, I thought throughout the show, when I was watching the show, I constantly thought that Mallory kind of seemed a little bit disconnected. Like, she seemed disconnected, like it was hard to get through to her. She didn't really fully open up herself, which ended up being the reason ultimately why her and Sal did not make it through, why Sal rejected her at the altar, which, like I said, at the end of the day, I feel like we need to have grace for Mallory at this point, because I can't imagine, like, even though Mallory may not have shown it, she could have very well felt really deep feelings for Sal, because at the end of the day, she chose him between her two strongest connections, and she chose him at the end of the day. So If that doesn't show that she at least has some type of feelings for him, I don't know what does. So at the end of the day, it's like, let's have grace. Mallory was publicly humiliated on national television when Sal decided to reject her at the altar, right? Sal decided to reject her at the altar. So at the end of the day, it's very well reasonable why Mallory is still hurt by the whole situation. I mean, like, you know, clearly she wanted to marry this man at some point, and she was hurt on national television. And so yeah, I just want to have grace for her, because I know I would be salty, you know. I would definitely be salty. And then let's be real here, like, nobody wants to see their ex, somebody that they loved at some point, with their new girl, right? So in my opinion, I don't think Sal is the victim he's trying to make himself out to be. I think Sal came here with one mission and one mission only, and that is to rub salt on Mallory's wounds, or kick her while she already down. And I cannot respect a man that does that, because you are not a man. You're acting like a child. You're acting like a little boy. At the end of the day, if Mallory did cheat on him, that is very unfortunate, but it doesn't give you the right, or it doesn't really justify you being the bully. It's like, you know how they say victims become bullies? Like, kids who were bullies end up becoming bullies. I feel like that's what it kind of is in this situation. And I just feel like Sal is, what he did at the after the altar kind of portion of the season, it was very disgusting in my opinion. It's like, Mallory is clearly still hurt by the situation. She literally was like about to cry like a couple of times in the party. She looked really hurt. And I don't think it's fair. And I think Sal and his fucking girlfriend are just like a little bit disgusting for that. It's like, y'all clearly see that this poor girl she's still like, she's not doing, like, for fuck's sake, like, Mallory literally came in this fucking crappy ass ponytail with these hoop earrings. Like, she clearly not feeling her best. So, I don't know. Sal, in my opinion, is not the victim he's trying to make himself out to be. It's very disgusting what he's doing in this portion of the season. And in my opinion, I think this kind of shows that Sal is not over the situation either. No matter how much he tries to be like, oh, well, I'm focusing on me and Jessica. Yeah, the fuck you are. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you're focusing on Jessica, yet you're like trying so hard, and it's so obvious. You're trying so hard to rub it in Mallory's face. Whoa, what the? Hold on. Okay, y'all, technical difficulties. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, he keeps trying to prove to everybody, including himself, that he's over Mallory in the situation, but you're over the situation, yet you're trying so hard. It's so obvious. You're trying so hard to rub it in Mallory's face. You're not over the situation either, right? And then he goes on to mention that Mallory cheated on him. Basically, he caught messages or something like that, and Mallory cheated on him. Do I think this was true? Probably. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, based off of the situation that she had with Jared and Mallory, and Jared being a little bit too close for comfort, right after fucking Mallory got engaged to Sal, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. But even if that was the case, if you're truly over the situation, you shouldn't be kicking somebody who's already down. I do, for once, like I said, I'm not a Mallory fan by any means. I actually kind of didn't like her in the season. But I will say this is the only time I will side with Mallory, because it's just wrong. Like, I'm not going to stick by something. It's borderline bullying, basically. I felt like this whole episode was borderline bullying. And let's not even get into the fact that the cast members could not take a fucking hint. Especially, hold on, wait. Oh, never mind. I remember her name. Especially Natalie. Like, Natalie literally said, oh my gosh, girl, this is probably horrible for you. And then she's going to be like, oh my God, Sal's girlfriend. Everybody's like, Sal's new girlfriend, Jessica. Like, tell me where you from. Tell me where. Like, I'm not saying they should be bullying her. They should be like, ugh. But it's like, don't be that interested. Like, you clearly see y'all friend, somebody who came into this experiment with y'all is clearly still hurt. She literally expressed to the girls that she is still hurt by the situation, and they are literally, they could not take a fucking hint. If those were my friends, I would literally sit them down and be like, y'all are not making anything better at this point. Y'all don't have to be like, oh, Sal's girlfriend, because all you're doing is inflating their ego and making their plan come into fruition, which is to rub it in my face. So I would sit all of them down and be like, I highly suggest y'all stop doing that shit and pay attention, because I understand y'all are excited, and everybody's excited to meet Sal's new girlfriend, but please, let's not make this whole thing about Sal and his girlfriend, okay? Just be like, y'all are a cute couple, moving on. Like, yeah, I would have had to sat them down and have a little talk. But let's get into Sal's girlfriend. Too fucking much. Too fucking much. She needs to tone it down. This girl acts just like my younger brother and sister, who are not even 5 years old yet. Okay, she acts just like them, constantly yelling, constantly screaming. This girl was doing too much. Like, I did not like this girl the second I saw her go like, like, bitch, what are you doing? And I'm not even joking, you guys. I really wish, I really, really wish I was over exaggerating what I just did, but she literally was like, like, I don't know if it was the tequila shots. I don't know if it was them tequila shots, but it's clear that that girl had one plan and she had one plan only, and it was to stunt on his ex. I don't know why, because she clearly says, oh, I was never worried about you. I wasn't even thinking about you. Really, sis? Because you seem like you're being a tryhard right now. Like, in my opinion, she was too obnoxious. She was doing way too fucking much. Baby girl, you need to bring it down 10 notches. Bring it down the whole 10 notches. Because you're doing way too much. I did not like her. Her energy came off very disingenuous. And it was clearly obvious that she was not being her full, true, authentic self, because she was so focused on Mallory and trying to show up Mallory. She ended up doing the fucking most. That's why I didn't like when the other cast members kept inflating her ego and their ego by being so interested in their relationship. It's really not that interesting. Like, they kind of just started dating, to be honest. So, in my opinion, I feel like Sal and Jessica's relationship, it comes off very inauthentic. It's a rebound. It's giving rebound energy. And this is my intuition coming into fruition, okay? This is my intuition coming into play. I feel like Sal is trying so hard to get over the Mallory situation. He's clearly butthurt by it, which is okay, but he's trying so hard to make it seem like it didn't affect him as much as it did. So he's using this girl, Jessica, to basically try to compensate for how he really feels. I feel like they're not gonna last. Sorry, I just don't see them lasting. Like, literally. And then he's talking about fucking proposing to this bitch. Y'all haven't even been dating for a year. And he's talking about proposing. Literally, his own sister was like, I think I want you to just enjoy yourself. I feel like you earned it. You deserve this. I think you've earned it to yourself to just kind of have fun right now. Like, you don't need to marry this bitch. You literally just met her. But yeah, Jessica, old girl, was doing way too much. Way too much. Baby girl, you do not have to do all of that. And then she came in like this dominatrix outfit, looking like she just walked out the strip club, like she just got done auditioning, bitch. Like, it was too much. She was trying too hard. Literally, she was laughing so loud, so obnoxious. And I wish Mallory kind of stood up for herself a little bit more. I wish Mallory kind of didn't let herself seem so affected by the situation, but she did. And this whole situation, at the end of the day, what I gotta say for Mallory, if she's even watching this video, Mallory girl, you will be just fine. Your time will come. But baby girl, you cannot let them see you be that affected. Like, for once, I was like, Mallory, you need them walls up. Like, Sal was pissing me off even more because he was like, oh, Mallory still has her walls up. She has some things she need to work on. Okay, but it's not your place to judge. Like, we all have things we need to work on at the end of the day. One thing I'm not going to do is sit here and stand for somebody basically being borderline bullied. Like, we all have things we need to work on. It's not fair that you keep beating down somebody for their own, insecurities. Like, at the end of the day, we all have shit we need to work on. You don't need to keep beating her down about it. So this whole after the altar kind of thing made me look at Sal in a whole new perspective. Like, at first I was like, oh, Sal. Now I'm like, Sal, like, get the hell out of here. You and your extra ass girlfriend need to get the hell out. And Mallory, I do feel for her. Now let's move on to the next couple. Deep D and what the fuck was his name? That guy that looked like a fucking bat. Let me see. Deep D and Kyle. What the hell is going on? That whole situation, Kyle was clearly trying to get his 15 seconds of fame in. I don't like Kyle. Kyle rubs me off the wrong way. He comes off as very disingenuous. When Kyle wanted to date, what was that one girl? Shayna. Yeah, when Kyle wanted to date Shayna, he was like, that's a man. Like, that's a man that wants a girl. Kyle clearly did not want Deep D in that way. He kept calling her friend. He kept saying that was his best friend. I mean, even in the party, like, he was barely interacting with Deep D. In my opinion, Deep D, girl, you need to stand the fuck up. She kept inflating his ego, talking about how hot she was, how turned on she was by him. Deep D, stop inflating these man ego. Like, I feel like Deep D is so desperate for love. She's looking for any and anywhere she can get it. Deep D, your time will come, baby girl. Do not worry. God has your back. Your time will come. But please, I was just so embarrassed for Deep D because it's clear Kyle... Let me tell you something. If a man wanted to, he would. If Kyle wanted Deep D, he would have taken her off the market. When you see your favorite bag of chips, do you just sit there, you take one chip, two chips, and call it a day? Or do you take the whole fucking thing because you don't want nobody else to get it? You take the whole thing. So in my opinion, I feel like Kyle was just using Deep D for clout. Literally, if y'all look and read articles or y'all just do a little bit of research on the whole situation, he started talking to her literally a few weeks before they started filming after the altar and quickly broke up with her right after. He broke up, not even broke up, but like he kind of stopped talking to her and basically said, "Oh, let's just be friends," because he kept talking about the situationship, how he didn't want to date. Let me tell you something. If a guy ever comes to you and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to mess up," like the whole time, Kyle just kept saying, "Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared." What are you scared of? What the fuck are you scared of? Like, and this is why I still have old school beliefs. Oh my God, hold on. So, I'm sorry. But he was like, I'm so scared, I'm so scared. What are you scared of? He had nothing to be scared of. That boy was not scared. He just didn't want to commit. And literally, y'all know what's so funny? Right after he kind of cut off the little situationship they had going on, they didn't even kiss. First of all, it was so disingenuous. They didn't even, like, he didn't look attracted to her. He barely paid her any mind during the party. Like I said, y'all, be very careful to your significant other's body language when they get around other people while they're with you. If they completely, like, cut you out the whole time, be very careful. If their attention is, like, damn near not even on you majority of the time, look, just keep that in mind. That's a red flag. And he barely paid her any mind. I mean, they didn't even kiss. It was just like a little flirtatious thing. It's clear he was just using the whole situation for clout. And y'all know what's so funny? Right after he, like, cut off that situationship with Deep D, he immediately went to date. I mean, literally date another girl. After he just said, like, oh, we don't want to date and blah, 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 and we don't feel like dating. What's that one movie? It's called He's Just Not That Into You. Or he just doesn't want to date you. Like, when guys say, oh, I just don't want to date right now, no. It's just that a lot of the times it's just they don't want to date you. And that's the hard truth that I had to overcome at some point. But I would rather y'all hear it from me than to experience what I had to go through, okay? If a guy ever comes to you and he's like, oh, let's just be friends, I don't want to mess up what we have. Whoops, that's my phone. But yeah, literally, don't fall for that. Deep D, girl, you deserve so much better. Stop talking to these guys on the fucking Love is Blind show. Like, please, focus on yourself. I feel like Deep D, you need to focus on yourself. Get yourself right. You know, love yourself first. Love yourself first. And the guy will come along. I feel like as long as Deep D tries to continuously search for anything, she's not going to find it. I feel like she needs to take time for herself, go through a little hermit period, and then the guy will come. But Sal, he needs to get the hell out of here. Did y'all know he has an OnlyFans? Yes. Who the fuck is signing up to see a naked bat? Yeah, Sal came off as very disingenuous. I mean, even Danielle and what the hell is his name? Danielle and Nick, they were kind of like, I don't know, like, you should just go ahead and date her. But Sal continuously was just like, I'm scared and I don't want to mess up what we have and we're friends. Get the hell out of my face. Like, yeah, that was something that should never happened, honestly. DP girl, I feel so bad, but God got your back, girl. Let's get on to Iyanna and Jarrette. A series of unfortunate events. Honestly, I agree with everyone when they say Iyanna should have never taken up his offer to be married when she found out she was second pick. Never let a man, and I always stick by the same. Never let a man tell you he doesn't want you twice. There are many ways a man can tell you he don't want you. One of them is by being second pick. Never be second fiddle. Never settle. Iyanna, girl, you deserve so much more. And I feel like opposites do not attract. Like, I hate when people say opposites attract. They do not attract. They can be compatible for a little while. They can be compatible. But for a lifelong commitment, they do not attract. Opposites attract is something you do for fun. You see what happens when you mesh with somebody who's not really of your same caliber. But it's not something that's in it for a long run. I feel like Jarrette was like still in his fuckboy phase. He was still not ready to settle. He thought he was ready to settle for marriage, but mentally and spiritually, he's not ready to settle. Iyanna deserves so much more. She's such a sweetheart. She really is. Now, we know she's not perfect or whatever the case may be, but she's such a sweetheart, and I feel like she just deserved so much better, to be honest, than Jarrett's dumbass constantly in the club. Like, I don't know, y'all. I even felt like something in my spirit tells me that Jarrette probably flirted with some girls at the club too. The way he was acting with Mallory, even after proposing to Iyanna. Yeah. Like, I even feel like I really expected Iyanna to break up with this man. After seeing the altar, I feel like Iyanna should have just probably called off the whole thing. I would have done that out of respect for myself. I feel like Iyanna's way too sweet. She's way too caring. She need to cut that shit off. I completely agree with her sister, and I see why her sister's like that. Iyanna is too much of a sweetheart, baby girl. She's gonna find her person too. Her person will come in the next couple of years. Going off of intuition again, but I feel like she just need, like, they need to be done. I don't see it working between them. I really don't. Jarrette just kept saying he's working on himself and all of these like sweet little words, like he's taking actions to do whatever, and it's just like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, Jarrette kept saying like, oh, I'm taking the actions, I'm taking the time to correct my actions, and I'm taking the steps. Like, what are you, this sounds like some shit I would write for school in my essays. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, I felt like he just kept saying that, and it just kept sounding like sweet nothings. Like, he's compensating for something he actually cannot do. I just felt so bad for Iyanna, because all she's asking for is be considerate of me as well, you know. And this is why I will not engage with anybody who has grown up or who has strict parents, who's grown up in a strict households. A lot of the times, 9 times out of 10, they turn out to be one of the worst human beings in society. So I'm sorry, but I wouldn't even date nobody that has strict parents. Like, they're something else. They really are. But I feel kind of bad because I feel like I saw how they could work out. Like, I saw a shimmer of hope in how their relationship could, possibly work out. But honestly, Jarrette, he just gives me fuckboy vibes. Like, and Iyanna's too much of a sweetheart for that. So, yeah. I feel like when it comes to Jarrette and Iyanna, what we learned about the whole situation is that opposites don't always attract. And I feel like they should have been, I honestly was even surprised that they went that far along in their relationship, but, it's sad, but it needed to happen. I was waiting for it to happen, honestly. Speaking of couples I didn't expect to make it that far, let's talk about Nick and Danielle. Again, opposites attract. Do not always attract, and they're not going to be attracting for in the long run. Like I said, it's cool for a short-term period, but you cannot work with somebody that is your total opposite. It's a fantasy that will always be a fantasy for a reason. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like I said, with Nick and Danielle, I just mainly feel like, I don't know, like, I'm just surprised they made it that long. I'm like, y'all are still married? And I kind of found it funny that they chose, like, that was their strongest couple. Like, that's how sad the season was. That Nick and Danielle were their strongest couple. That's kind of the couple they chose to kind of be, like, the forefront. Like, that's really sad. And what's really crazy is, along with, what's their name again? Along with Ayana and Jared, they also divorced quickly after the Altar show aired. Like, what was the point? Like, literally, like I said, I just felt like it was a thing of opposites don't always attract. The fact that they filed for divorce, well, they say Danielle filed for divorce, which makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I just feel like it was another situation of opposites don't always attract. I don't really have much to say about them as a couple, other than they are really messy. They are messy, like, not Sal type of messy, because Sal, okay, but they are messy in the sense of you can tell they be talking shit when they together, and I low-key aspire that kind of relationship. I aspire to have that type of relationship. Like, babe, did you hear what she said? Like, hold on, what do you think is gonna happen when they meet up? Oh shit, did you hear what went down? Like, I love that, like, being able to talk shit together and, like, knowing the tea. Like, yeah, Nick is very messy. We already know that. And Danielle stay in the mess. So it made sense why they were together. But I just felt like it was another thing of opposites don't always attract. And, yeah, I'm surprised they got divorced. But I'm also surprised they even made it that far along. So let's talk about the horrendous love triangle. Shane, Shayna, and Natalie. Again, with the opposites attract. I feel like this is why this season did not work out super well. Is because they were playing opposites attract. And opposites do not always attract. They attract for a short period of time, but once y'all realize y'all can't get over those differences, boop, out the door. So, Shane and Natalie, it completely made sense. Honestly, Shane gave me little boy tease. He gave me immature tease. And, I just feel like Shane is messy. Like, he's just messy. Apparently, they had this big blowout before the wedding, which is why Natalie called it off. And he basically said some horrible things like, I hate you, which makes a lot of sense. He could hate how put together Natalie is and how much more put together as a person she is than him. Like, I feel like that's why opposites don't always attract, is because low-key, you envy the person that you want to be that you're not. So, yeah, in my opinion, it made sense why they broke up. I don't really have much to say about that. Like, I'm just surprised they even made it to the altar. But let's get on to Shayna and Shane. They were being a little bit too close for me when she was cutting his hair in the beginning, all the way down to when they were sitting at the bar and they were like, I feel like Shayna still has feelings for Shane. She might not say it, because obviously we're gonna get to Shayna in a little bit, but she might not say it because she's in a relationship at the moment. But Shayna still has feelings for Shane, and Shane clearly still has feelings for Shayna. I feel like Shane is in his, like, recovery stage from the relationship. He is clearly heartbroken, but I feel like at the end of the day, it just wasn't meant to be. Again, opposites do not always attract. But Natalie spilled some tea, okay? Natalie basically said that while, like, her and Shane, after she kind of refused the proposal or refused the wedding at the altar, they were still working on their relationship. They didn't choose to completely cut each other off. They were still on and off. And during the period that they were in a relationship, but, you know, obviously not married, she found messages of Shane and Shayna flirting on Twitter. Now, do I believe this? Abso-fucking-lutely. Shayna has proven that she has some weird infatuation with Shane, and I do not put it past her to still be trying to contact him while they are together. Shane has been shown to have absolutely no self-control and acts like a fucking child. So I feel like I believe Natalie, and I'm glad Natalie decided to choose herself. Obviously, Natalie may not be the most perfect person. I do believe a part of Natalie's a little bit messy, which is why she chose to reveal this after the altar. But yeah, I feel like Natalie tried to do the same thing Sal did, which is like this whole fake ass, like, I'm done being nice, I'm done protecting these people, it's time to come out and share my truth. Which, for Natalie's case, I completely don't disagree with her. Like, I completely support her on this, because girl, that's trifling. Like, and apparently it gets even messier, y'all. Shayna and Shane were doing all of this while Shayna was in a relationship with her new boyfriend, that guy from Greece, Messy Boots, Messy Cam, Messy Boots. I believe it. In the beginning of the episode, if y'all watch that after the altar, they are being way too close, and like I said, intuition coming in, that attraction, I feel it. I felt the energy. It's still there, clearly. And yeah, like, I couldn't even tell that Shayna had a boyfriend. Like, I was wondering why she wasn't being super oblique about her attraction for Shane in the moment. But it was still kind of like the attraction was there, but she wasn't being super oblique about it. And then, oh yeah, Shayna has a boyfriend? Oh wow. That's why she's not all super touchy. She's trying to be, oh, okay. The cameras are on. Okay. In my opinion, I felt like Natalie should have been messy. Okay, if I was Natalie, I would have been messy. I would have been like, oh yeah, I feel like that's why. And let's clear the air real quick. That's why Shayna left the party. She didn't want Natalie to go and confront her boyfriend and basically be like, yeah, I heard this, I heard that. She left as soon as she can, because she like, yeah, you're not about to ruin my relationship like how I tried to do yours. Oh yeah. If I was Natalie, I would have been messy, and I would have confronted her boyfriend, and I would have been like, yeah, so Shayna was texting my ex while y'all were in a relationship. Something tells me that her boyfriend wouldn't really want to believe that anyways. I don't know, cognitive dissonance, but I don't know. If I was Natalie, I would have told him immediately as soon as they came, because I'm messy like that, and you destroyed mine. It's time to destroy yours. Like, the fuck, you know, an eye for an eye type of situation. But yeah, it's clear that Shayna and Shane are still somewhat attracted to each other. I think it's very weird that they are in a setting alone together and nobody sees the potential issue with this. But yeah, surprise, Shayna has a new relationship, but congrats for her. Also, her man proposed to her after the altar. Like, basically, I guess he proposed the night before they came to the party, the little gathering that they had on the second night. And in my opinion, again, what is up with these couples and moving way too fucking fast? Like, I feel like everybody on the show has a thing for moving way too fucking fast. Have y'all even been dating for that long? Like, apparently they met 3 years ago, which is understandable, but y'all weren't dating for 3 years. So to propose is kind of like I said, could have been for clout, in my opinion. It could have been for clout. And they were talking about having babies. Something about it just came off as very disingenuous. I don't know if I see them lasting, to be honest. Like, proposing, like, I don't know. Like, and then Shayna and Shane were talking shit and basically trying to make Natalie the villain and basically being like, oh yeah, Natalie's just jealous of your proposal and she's jealous. I mean, she kind of does have a right to be, because Shayna didn't really let y'all have y'all moments, so I would be jealous too. But yeah, like I said, I don't think Natalie is perfect, but I do think that Shayna is a bitch, and I do believe that Shayna was contacting Shane while she was dating her new boyfriend. because it just makes sense. Like, I see that happening. Like, if you watched Love is Blind, you would know why I agree with that statement. I think I missed like one other person. Although Shane was not at the party, he was still shown on the season. Shake was not on the After the Altar episode at all. Like, he was not on the episode at all. I think that's for the best. His character was really disgusting. It's kind of surprising to me that people try to defend him. Like, I'm not gonna completely villainize him, but let's not try to justify his actions either. Like, at the end of the day, how he did Deep D was absolutely disgusting. And whoops. Yeah, how he treated Deep D was absolutely disgusting, and I don't agree with it. But I do feel like Deep D's a little bit too naive for her own good. And yeah, I feel like Shayna and Shane, y'all know what y'all did, and I do believe that Shayna is messy and she's fake. It's like Natalie has come out way too many times, numerously, and said, Shayna has done this, Shayna has done that, and she's come out and she's like, what? I never do that. Like, literally, during the Love is Blind episode, Natalie literally said, she called her and said, oh, I have a friend for you if things don't work. And she completely denied it. But then she literally said the same thing to Shane. She was like, oh, I have friends for you. I have girls that want you, and da-da-da. And Shane was kind of like, oh, well, why didn't you tell me this? Because she wants you for herself. But yeah, y'all, that's basically it for this video. Comment down below, how do y'all feel about the whole Love is Blind cast? In my opinion, season 2 sucks, and it's because they were trying to play this whole opposites attract thing, and it did not work. Opposites do not always attract, moral of the story. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Comment down below if y'all want me to do more like Netflix series or just series in general kind of reviews. And yeah, I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.